Ever get the feeling you're being shown a magic trick? That you're staring so hard at the flashing lights and the waving hand that you completely miss the other hand moving in the shadows, setting up the real illusion? Elon Musk and 50 Cent just pulled back the curtain, and the entire machine is grinding to a halt. Here's the twist they don't want you to figure out. Diddy isn't the kingpin. He's the decoy. If you've been laser focused on him like he's the final boss, you've been reading the wrong map. Because this time, it's not gossip, it's geometry. And we're about to map the entire pyramid. Elon Musk sits on something 50 Cent doesn't. A vault. Years of private DMs, deleted tweets, buried conversations from the Twitter era, now X, the ultimate ledger. The kind of raw data that can rewrite history overnight. 50 Cent has the guts, but Elon, he might have the keys. And that's why people are connecting dots. Like a conspiracy board, level 1, the power couple, Jay-Z and Beyoncé. Level 2, the gatekeepers, Oprah, Clive Davis. But at the very top, one name. A name that ties the pulpit to the party, the boardroom to the bedroom, hiding in plain sight. This isn't just about hip-hop. This is about influence, image, and a system of control so sophisticated it makes the mafia look amateur.
That they gave me a raw deal because this industry is a monster. It's the same monster that these Me Too trying to tell you about. But they hate the monster for how it, and I hate that monster for how it eats. But my God, man, it's the same monster. When I quit the show, all my friends would say, well, look them, Dave, why don't you just do Chappelle's show at another network? Yeah. And why doesn't a slave run from one plantation to another plantation? Because the master over there might be nicer. My God, man, I was trapped. You know what? Tell you the truth. I've even thought about coming back and doing another Chappelle show. Well, but if I do...
Buckle up, because we're climbing. First, understand why the Diddy earthquake matters. 50 Cent dropped The Reckoning not as another documentary, but as an indictment. His point was merciless. Silence makes the whole culture look complicit. So he spoke, and the ground cracked open. Then, the rumors turned dark. Allegations of hidden cameras, hundreds of them, in the houses, at the parties, not for memories, for leverage. Commentators like Jaguar Wright and Gene Deal describe it like a silent enforcer, a system that keeps people in line without a single threat. Just the haunting knowledge that the tape exists. And now, the whispers say those tapes are on the move, and a lot of very famous people are sweating. So where does Elon Musk change the game? He owns the platform. He sits at the apex of the digital panopticon, holding years of private conversations between celebrities, politicians, power players. When he sat with Joe Rogan, he didn't hint. He accused. That moment was a detonation.
It's like the Diddy thing was like an Epstein-type compromise deal, where he had, whether he was doing it himself, conceivably, people want to think that he's attached to some intelligence agency or something like that. I think he's a gangster who made $1 billion and knew how to control people by compromising them. That's what I think. Whether or not he had help, I don't know. Whether or not he shared some of that information with people so they knew they had compromising stuff on people, I don't know. But clearly he was doing it for his own jollies too. There was something sick about it.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is that people in the music and entertainment industry had to know that Diddy was like abusing, kids basically, and yet they still fed him kids. And like, where's the accountability?
There had to be rumors. There had to be.
They had to know.
Yeah.
They had to know.
Cat Williams was talking about it on.
Exactly.
Yeah, on that podcast.
But like who's feeding him the kids?
Right. Yeah. And what videos do they have of these people where they're willing to defend him and they're willing to keep quiet about all this? Like how many people were compromised?
Yeah.
The whole thing is fucking crazy.
Crazy.
It's just crazy when because the nutty conspiracy theories is like, oh, there's a bunch of pedophiles in Hollywood, and you're like, come on, that sounds too kooky. And then you see like the Nickelodeon thing and all these different. You're like,
he framed it not as crime, but as commerce, a sick economy of compromise. And then he asked the ugly, unavoidable question. If people were that close, where was the warning? Where was the alarm? The implication hangs in the air like smoke. If someone was in the inner circle and never spoke up, what does that mean? Ignorance? Or complicity? Fear? Or protection? And if it's protection of who? This is where the real climb begins. And behind the fame is taking you to the top. And yeah, you might be thinking, only level 1? Just wait. The questions here aren't about fame, they're about foundations. How does a man sit for a softball interview with Gayle King and not get a single question about his professional intersection with R. Kelly and Aaliyah?
How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly? This is insane that people keep refusing. I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter, this has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through. That changes now, Sean. You have no choice. That Dream Hampton was being financed and ran by Sean Carter. They were able to go and get all of these witnesses because he was there with Robert Kelly.
Jaguar Wright went on Piers Morgan and dropped a grenade she wasn't supposed to. She called Diddy and Jay-Z monsters, described their influence as a fist of tyranny, and then she revived the theory that the internet refuses to bury, the tragedy of Aaliyah. She made a claim so explosive, it's been scrubbed and re-uploaded a dozen times, that Jay-Z had a role in getting Aaliyah on that fatal plane. Is it proven? No, but it persists. And in the court of public opinion, silence isn't neutrality, it's a statement.
Think about this. Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane, to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyoncé, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter. Yeah. Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone. They know what happened, and yet they had to sit there and have that conversation like they didn't know who did it.
Then, the lawyers appeared. When the lawsuit started flying at Diddy, one name in the legal documents made everyone's spine straighten. Alex Spiro, Jay-Z's personal attorney. Why is his lawyer suddenly in Diddy's orbit? To help him or to control the blast radius?
That's suing Tony Busby. Spiro is a partner, and Alex Spiro is Jay-Z's personal lawyer.
Oh, so it's probably Jay-Z then that's doing the suing.
Of course they'd use Kevin's name, but it ain't Kevin. Why is Alex Spiro popping up everywhere?
What do you think is going on in Hollywood right now? What are you hearing? Because I'm hearing
mass panic. Mass panic.
So because no one's talking publicly.
No, they can't. That's why they came up with the story. Well, you know, there's a party inside the Diddy party, and I went to the first party, but I left early. I never made it to Diddy After Dark. There were public relations teams right after Diddy got arrested running around telling everyone to say that.
Of course.
The question is this. If all you went to was the first party and you didn't know anything about the After Dark, why would you say, I left early? Why wouldn't you just say you left when the party ended?
Yeah, exactly.
Because how would you know there was another party if you weren't informed?
Exactly.
If you went to the Diddy party and nothing happened and it was the first party, your speech wouldn't be, oh, well, I only went to the first party.
Right.
I didn't go to the after party. You wouldn't say that because you wouldn't have known.
Exactly.
You would say, I don't know what anybody's talking about. I went to Diddy's party, it was a white party, it was dancing, it was wild, but at the end, we all went home.
Right.
That's not what y'all are saying.
Nope.
You're saying, I didn't go to the second party, I only went to the first. The only thing you're proving is that you're hiding being there.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't have known about another
Exactly.
part.
Gene Deal, a former Diddy insider, frames it perfectly. If all you went to was the first party, why would you say I left early? The only thing you're proving is that you're hiding being there. The theory is chillingly simple. Control the narrative before the cascade begins. Because if Diddy ever truly talks, he doesn't fall alone. A lot of powerful people go down with him. We're moving up. This level isn't about stardom. It's about sanction. It's about who has the power to anoint and to erase. With Oprah, Critics point to the photos, the events, the public camaraderie with Harvey Weinstein while the rumors were an open secret in Hollywood. The question isn't about guilt by association, it's about platform. With that megaphone, a spotlight could have been forced. It wasn't. In this shadow war, silence isn't just quiet, it's a signal. Then, Clive Davis, the legendary architect, the man who launched empires. Suge Knight has claimed for years that Clive and Diddy's relationship was deeper than business. When reporters try to press Clive, watch his body language. The deflection isn't a no comment, it's a fortress.
Fritz memory working with Diddy.
You know, personally, I've got to tell you, he really is a major star in this film tonight. He's his spokesman all the way through. I met him before I ever knew of him. I met him when he was 21 years old. And when we met, you know, he played me Craig Mack Flavor in Your Ear. He played me 3 cuts from the forthcoming Notorious B.I.G. album. And we talked for hours and hours about music, and I poured into his dream. And I financed Bad Boy Records. And we had an incredible run, an incredible period.
And then there's Whitney. The family's doubts, the unanswered questions about her final days. The internet uses it to ask one brutal question. How does a man swim in that much rumor for that many decades and never get wet? This is where the fall guy theory takes root. That Diddy is the spectacular flame, drawing all the attention, while the real architects of the system, the gatekeepers, operate safely in the shadows, far from the heat. All right, take a breath, because we're about to summit, and this is the name that makes everyone stop scrolling. The apex, the top of the pyramid, Bishop T.D. Jakes, a pastor, a spiritual authority. And yet, 50 Cent has been laser targeting this name for months, not subtly, directly. Why? Because if the influence reaches the pulpit, then this isn't an entertainment scandal. It's a systemic infection. The framing is brutal. Diddy needed legitimacy, a cloak of righteousness, someone to stand beside him, and by association, cleanse him. People dissected 50's documentary like code, noting how clips of Jake's preaching about love were cut next to allegations of horror. They call it a deliberate tag, a message. Then Cat Williams, the prophet of chaos, weighed in. But the real eruption came when Jakes was finally asked about the Diddy allegations. Listen to his answer. He doesn't say it's false. He says, to the public, that didn't sound like a denial. It sounded like a theology of deflection. It sounded like immunity.
As Cat Williams calls out Bishop T.D. Jakes, and watch as T.D. Jakes and Gino Jennings' response.
I came in this business saying I was going to expose. When I talked about Michael Jackson, when I talked about R. Kelly, they canceled me for these things because why would you talk about another black dude? Race is not where the line is drawn. It's God's side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side. Period. All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is, T.G. Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all.
Jaguar Wright poured gasoline on the fire, claiming Jake's presence at Diddy's parties points to only 2 motives: money or sex. Gene Deal, the insider, framed it with street-level logic. The threat is no longer abstract. It's about proof. Cassie allegedly turned over evidence. There is talk of tapes. The rumor isn't the danger anymore. The danger is the possibility that the rumor is about to become evidence.
Jakes was at a Diddy party. There could only be 2 reasons: money or sex. That's all that happens at Diddy parties: money and sex.
Cassie has turned over substantial amounts of evidence to the feds. I'm told that after Cassie had a long conversation with Blank, I have to protect this person. They're going through a lot right now. And her lawyers, she finally was convinced to give up the videotapes and audio recordings that contain.
This is where I need you, the Behind the Fame family. We're piecing this puzzle together in real time. If you're not subscribed, hit that button and ring the bell. We are going deep on stories the mainstream ignores. You do not want to miss what's coming next. The walls are closing in on more than just one man. Now, widen the lens. This is bigger than Hollywood. When Musk and Rogan talked, they weren't gossiping. They were diagramming a power protocol. The Epstein model: compromise, control. Blackmail isn't a crime in this world. It's a management strategy. And that brings us back to Dave Chappelle. who saw the trap years ago. If a man of Chappelle's stature, at the peak of his power, felt that caged, what does that say about the machine itself? It's not a career, it's an ecosystem. And in this ecosystem, everyone has a role. The star, the gatekeeper, the spiritual guide. All parts of the same structure, all protected by the same rule: silence. So here's the brutal final question, the one they're all praying you don't ask. Is T.D. Jakes really the top? Or is he just the most visible layer of spiritual sanction protecting whoever sits in the quiet darkness above him?
Man, what I think about it is this, when I grew up in the church, the sinners was not supposed to have the same atmosphere with the saints. You have to be able to separate the two. So I'm looking at him as a saint going to a party that ain't nothing but sin. Drinking, maybe fornication, man on man, woman on woman, he on she. But maybe he there to lay some hands on somebody. Maybe he there to save some souls. I know he got a contract with Revolt, so I'm just like, it's just real strange that he would be found at any kind of Diddy party or any kind of place with Diddy unless it's in a business atmosphere.
So why do you think he was going to these parties?
I think that he's going to the Diddy parties, if he's going, well, we know he's going to the Diddy parties, and I know that I know what usually happens at the Diddy party, or when we told this happened at the Diddy party. Maybe he needs to see it for himself, man. Maybe he needs to go there and really be involved in some things that could help save some individuals while they going to those parties.
Is the pyramid even taller? This story is a crack in the dam. More names will flood into the light. Meek Mill, Ashton Kutcher, Naomi Campbell. The list is growing. The internet is connecting the wires. And the reckoning 50 Cent promised is just beginning. I want to hear from you. What do you think? Is this pyramid real, or is it just another internet fantasy? Who do you think is the most powerful figure in this shadow network? Drop your opinions in the comments. Get loud. This conversation only matters if we have it together. And tell me, what topic do you want us to break down next? The secret contracts? The mysterious deaths? The hidden Hollywood bailouts? Comment below and let me know. They think they control the narrative, but we're rewriting it one expose at a time. This is Behind the Fame. We see what they hide. We'll be here for every single twist. See you in the next one.